Okay, so when I'm coming closer to the end, I'm helping the bustier, the foundation up because of the curve. Because so here's one. See how it curves. So let me see if I can do this. There. So you can see how it curves, right? So I didn't do it on this part of the curve. I went around it. And if I turn it on the right side, you can really see how it curved right here. So let's do the other one. Just cut this thread. Alrighty. So I'm going to do the next arch, right? And remember that aim towards the center, right? The center of the panel. Yeah, like I said, you can draw a line. You can just eyeball it. So remember at the beginning, push the plastic in, so you can release some of the casing, some of the fabric, and then you're gonna turn it under. So once you turn it under, then we're going to place it just in front of, right? Just in front of the other one, like this. In front of the other one, and aiming towards the middle. I'm gonna lift the presser foot. Hold the threads. So I'm gonna repeat myself. So like around 3 inches before we get to the edge, to the guiding stitch, pull back some of the fabric. Let's mark where we need to cut. Pull the fabric. And if it gets too close to the stitching guideline, then we just need to cut a little bit more of the plastic off. I hate when that happens because it's just a waste. But that's okay. Okay, so they're ready. I'm going to take it all the way to the end. I'm going to backstitch, needle down, needle up, and then I'm going to just jump over. And to keep the shape of the bust, I help the from the back. You cannot see my hand. Well, my hand is back here. I'm helping the cup to raise on the back, so I'm just pulling it up. Once I get to the end, back back stitch, and that's ready. Cut the thread, cut the thread, cut the thread, thread, cut the thread. The two pieces, and see how it keeps the beautiful arch. And then you see one here. This is the second one. That's what's making the bust hold. And then this is the center. So now what I'm gonna do, this one is very important because that's gonna keep the front more sturdy. So I'm going to, I'm still planning to do a couple more. I'm planning to do one more in the middle, and then the one in the center on the seam. And I don't know, maybe let's see. Alrighty. So this one right here, that one will go on the seam also, but just right before the curve, right? Maybe at the middle or maybe a little bit below. If you do it up too high, then it's gonna look like a nipple. So we wanna avoid that. So we're going to come a little bit lower. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just pushing the plastic down so I can recover some of that extra fabric. So I'm just, maybe, let's see, maybe we can do like about 2 inches. So I'm going to hold the thread, secure it, back stitch it. So whatever I do to this side, I'm gonna do exactly the same to the other side. So I'm gonna pull some of the fabric up. Pulling some of the fabric up. I'm gonna come to the guideline, this guide stitching line. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna fold over. I'm gonna fix it, making sure everything looks nice and neat. And I'm gonna finish it. Back stitch. Needle down. Turn. And needle up. Back stitch. Cut the thread. It's easy to cut the thread since the very beginning. That way the it won't be full of threads all over. All right. So now we have the one that it's just below the bust. So now we start having a nice shape. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see the bust, the full part of the bust here. Alrighty, so I'm gonna do the rest of them off screen and I'll be right back. For the side back panel, I'm gonna use 3 bonings, 3 lines, right? So I'm gonna do the first one in the middle, and then I'm gonna go from the middle either to the left or to the right. So I'm just going to figure it out where the middle is. I can measure it from seam to seam, and I can get the center, or we can just, eyeball it. Like I said, I will give you the sketch of how the position of the boning. And it's not necessary to have that much boning, but I like for them to be very sturdy. And that way, when the person is wearing it, it will not fall off, and it will give a very good shape on the body. Right. So remember that again, we're going to pull some of the fabric up, and I'm going to come to my guideline, put it this way, bring it under, and keep on stitching. Okay, so at this point we're going to sew the hand loop on the side seam on the foundation. So the length that I use is 12 inches. This time I'm gonna use twill tape, but most of the time I'm using just like the regular ribbon. I think this is a 1/4 of an inch twill tape. Yeah, about 1/4 of an inch. It's 12 inches long. I fold it in half. I have the 2 points over here, the cut points or the cut edges, and then I mark 1/2 inch from the cut edge to here. It's 1 inch, and I did them for both sides. And to start sewing, what I do is like I fold my seam allowances under or over, because that's once I saw that the seam allowance, I need to mark where the seam allowances touches the back of the foundation. So I'm gonna start sewing there at that point. So I'm gonna match my marking to the pin. I'm gonna take it to the let me turn this pin around so I'll be able to pull it out. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start where my marking and my pin is. I'm gonna use a zigzag. It will be more sturdy, the zigzag. Awesome. Not too small, because then awesome. So that's the loop is attached to the foundation. Once I do my seam allowances here, the loop is going to be looking like that. So let me do the other side. But the other side, I'm gonna turn my foundation, turn it upside down. I have the marking on my loop, so I'm gonna match my pin. It does 1 inch. So now I have both of the hanging loops. I always do it this way. I always do the hanging loops of the foundation. That way, when I start using the fashion fabric and the lining and everything, just these loops, they hold the whole dress. And I usually do it for the quinceañera dresses, for the bridesmaids, for the bridal. Every time I'm doing a bustier, that's how I do the loops. Okay, so now I have half of the foundation done. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 14 pieces of boning here. Okay, so right now I'm working on my last piece of boning. So what's gonna be next, I'm gonna take it to the ironing board, and we're gonna iron it. So I'm gonna start giving it the shape that I need. How many pieces of boning? Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 27 pieces. And that's going to make the bustier very, very sturdy, very strong. There will be no foldings. I like to do quite a bit on the front, just because that's when we have more movement and we want to push the tummy in. And on the back, there's not enough, just because the back does not have a lot of movement, only like on the side. And just to make it more sturdy, and it will give it more body to whoever is gonna wear it. Right now it doesn't look like much because it's so flat. So now we're gonna take it to the ironing board, and then we're gonna start shaping it.